Happy New Year, beautiful people, beautiful people, beautiful people. This is Major, my mama's favorite hope dealer, and we are here for the first episode of 2025
We made it.
for The Hope in Between, your midweek relief, a podcast with myself, Major, and my sister, Eunice Elliott. Eunice,
We
how are
made
you
it to
feeling?
2025. You know what? I think I'm okay.
Okay, you think. It starts with a thought.
I think I'm okay. I don't
It
have
starts with a
anything
thought and then
bad,
a feeling
wrong,
to
horrible, right?
agree.
You
Okay.
know, so when I check in, I say, I think I'm fine. I think I'm fine. Do I think there are some things that would make me finer? Absolutely.
Yeah,
But I'm fine.
you're
I'm fine.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, I can say the same. I think I'm fine. I kind of feel fine. I definitely am excited about what's ahead, and we can get into that all the more. But before we do anything else, I want us to catch our breath.
Mm.
So, on the count of three, let's take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, and let it out. Take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3. Now let it out. Now, this time, I want you to consider all of the stuff: the pull, the burden, the responsibility, the frustration, the anxiety, the depression, the stress, the excitement, the enthusiasm, the eager, whatever it is. Take it all in. Deep breath in. Now let it out. That right there is surrender. And we're going to start this year off right with a mindset that is healthy, understanding that all of the great things that you will conquer do not need to be conquered in one fell swoop. Pace is grace. It will get done in time, so long as you agree to show up full each day with whatever you have in your capacity. Not perfection, but just the best of whatever it is. Never let life rush you so much so that you forget to catch your breath. All right, beautiful people. It's 2025 and we are
Let me say
here with.
something. Let me say something.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah,
say
yeah.
something.
Go ahead, go ahead, go
Earlier
ahead.
today, I was sharing with you before we started recording. I was feeling a little angst. And I literally had the thought, I can't wait to breathe with Major later.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's go. I love that. I love that. I think while we are working to grow this audience, one thing that is consistently the feedback is that people are feeling helped and hopeful while watching and after watching The
Yeah.
Hope in Between. So Eunice, dap me up on this one. We doing the work.
We're doing it.
We're doing the work. Yes, indeed. Oh my God. So talk a little bit about your break. Yeah, what was it? What was that end of the year into the new year for you?
I'm kind of over it.
Well, that's a
I need
good thing.
I need everybody to get back to work. I think as a creative who doesn't have banker's hours, I think I have chosen and have curated a life where I'm not overworked. I might always be doing something, but it's something I enjoy, so I don't see it as work. But just being off and everybody else being off. And I mean, even with the podcast, I'm sending you a rundown and you're like, we recording today? It's the holidays. And I was like, what?
I
And
was
so
like, you don't want this day off? Like this week? What?
I have been like this the whole time, and you can attest to that. So even last week, I was like, are we not gonna do nothing? So I'm ready for everybody to get back to work. So yes, the break was great. Blah blah blah. Let's move on, guys. It's a new
No,
year.
no, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about
Move on.
you being in Houston the last week of
Oh,
the year. That was
oh yeah.
cool.
So I was in Houston. Yeah.
My hometown, H-Town.
Yes.
How
Yes.
was it? I
What
meant
was that?
to get to you earlier on some food, some restaurants, and
I
some
did ask
possible
you to.
connections. Yeah.
So I went to Houston for a few days to hang out with a friend of mine who was down there working CBS game for Netflix's production of the Beyonce Bowl. So
Woo!
it was crazy because she would go to work during the day and she would tell me, yeah, Beyonce rehearsed today. And I'm like, what happened? But they like taped up their cell phones and everything, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I really did feel like after I watched it on Netflix on Christmas Day, I felt like my friend didn't tell me anything to what, she didn't
Right,
say.
right. To the degree of what it was.
The only thing she told me that I knew ahead of time, she said, it's Cowboy Carter. That's what she said.
Yeah.
That, she said it's Cowboy Carter. Okay. So, but anyway, Houston was good. I actually, you know what? I'll share this online. Okay, so I'm
Mm.
retired from dating. I opened up the Bumble app while I was in Houston, which is a dating app, which anti-apps. But anyway, just to see if I could meet somebody in Houston for the weekend to just hang out with, right? And so I connected
Right.
with this one guy, and it was like Friday afternoon when I got into town. He was at work. He got off around 5:30, right when my girlfriend was getting off work. So he met us out for a drink. I think we were watching the game. And then we hung out, the three of us hung out for the rest of Friday night, which was really cool. Immediately I knew it wasn't like a love connection or match, but he was cool people. The
Cool
next
people. Okay.
day, we texted a little bit and he came and picked me up. We went to lunch. And then me and my girlfriend were going to meet another former coworker for dinner. He came to that. And then we went to like a vinyl party. It was a vinyl record party called A Fistful of Soul in Houston.
Ah,
We were
okay.
literally the only Black people in there, but we're going to leave that there. But anyway, so it was great because it was not a love connection in any shape, form, or fashion, but it was cool to like just connect
He
and
was
meet.
cool people.
He was cool people. Houston itself was fine.
Did you eat any good food?
I mean,
Let me tell you something. You
I
can't
don't
get
think you
to
gave me good
Houston.
suggestions. I don't think you gave me good
No,
suggestions.
you didn't go anywhere that I told you to go.
So you told me what, Papa's barbecue?
Yes.
Okay, so I had Papa's barbecue. Exactly. You didn't hear about it? You told me Papa Do's. Come on, guys.
Did you go to Papados?
I've been to Papa Do's 400 times in my lifetime, so I
But
wasn't
did you
going to go in
go?
Houston. I didn't go in
So,
Houston, no.
so you could have gone, and that would have been delicious.
You
I
told
can't
me,
believe you said Papa's barbecue wasn't good to you.
well, you know
That's
what?
shocking.
Let me put an asterisk by it. That is
Okay.
who they ate. So that first day I got there, my friend, when she's leaving production, coming home, she generally would take all the food that the cast and crew did not eat and deliver it to the homeless
And it
people.
was probably okay,
And it was
okay.
Papa's barbecue. And I said, wait a minute, give me that plate. And then we went and gave the rest to.
Ah! So you didn't get it while it was fresh and hot.
It was still Papa's barbecue.
You warmed it up, which is which actually still would bang because
I mean, it was
Papa's
fine,
barbecue,
but
everybody knows it's really good. So just enough. What else did you not do that I
I
put on the
I did not get Frenchie's fried chicken. And let me say this, I mentioned it to a couple of
You
people.
missed that.
I
You missed
mentioned it
that.
and they were like, eh. And then I saw what Beyonce has a picture at Frenchie's. And I was like, okay, let me just say this. Because you're an LA guy now. Wouldn't you agree? You're like LA now?
Yeah,
Wouldn't you
sure.
agree?
With
I
Texas
think
in my
between LA
heart.
and Houston, taste buds are off, guys. I think you guys, I have on my Los Angeles
I
sweatshirt.
think I
I
think I
think taste
think
buds
if
are off,
I
guys.
think if you weren't the producer of this show, I'd press mute and just silence you for a few seconds
And you
because
know
you're
what?
not making any sense. Because first of all, my palate was engineered, properly stewarded and curated by that of Houston, Texas.
And
I
that's my
know
point.
food,
I
and food
think
is amazing. No one listen. Keith Lee even has us at the on his top two to New Orleans,
you
and
didn't
I
say
think
Keith
that's
Lee.
just
You didn't
because
say Keith Lee. Stop it.
Keith Lee. I'm just telling you. I'm
Stop
just
it.
telling you. Listen,
But
but
here's my point. Keith Lee,
Beyond
so
Keith
I
Lee,
think
everybody
beyond the
wants
base and
Houston's
Dixon
food.
line. Let me tell you, this is probably science. From Mississippi west, I think once you go through Mississippi heading west, I think there's a degeneration of taste. That's
Wow.
it. I can tell you in all the places I have
I
lived,
think it is
Los
crazy
Angeles was
for
number
you
one
to.
worst food. Okay.
I'm not bragging about Los Angeles
Okay,
food
but I'm
ever.
saying on the East Coast, Miami, great food, right? You can get a lot of, you can go to fast food and go to El Pollo Loco.
No, no, no.
Like you can get
Miami,
good
no, no,
fast
no, no.
food
That's
in
not
Miami.
true. No, Miami, you get good Caribbean food.
Right, but it's flavorful, it's good food. You can get it. You can access it quickly and easily. My point is, once you pass Mississippi, it starts going down,
You sound
down.
ridiculous. You sound ridiculous. And if I were the producer, I'd mute
Chicago.
you.
Let me say something about Chicago.
No, you cannot say Chicago is better food
I wasn't
than
going to.
Texas.
That is my
Oh, okay.
point. I wasn't going to. Places where people talk about food, I have gone to those places to eat because I love food. I'm not a foodie, but I love food. Okay. And I'm telling you, Chicago, Houston,
Let me explain something to you. You
let me just say,
literally, your argument has no grounds, no legs, no arms, no fingernails. You can't say anything when you did not do what I put on the list.
I hear what you're saying.
I gave you a list. No, no, no. You know what I'm saying, but you didn't do it. And you have the audacity to fix your lips
Because I
to
ate at
say
other
some
places.
craziness.
And guess what? They were all in Houston. And they were places that
No,
have been recommended
there
that
are
the
always
mind,
going to
the
be places
Houstonian,
that are there are always going to be places that are not worth your time. But one thing I will say, in Houston, the level of culinary excellence and goodness
great
thoroughly
reputation. Great reputation for
it's I
sure.
no this is
But
not
it's more of a
just
rumor.
about
It's more of a
it's
rumor.
not about
It's
rumor.
more of a rumor.
People, do you know
I
why we
think
were the
people in
fattest?
Houston,
We were the fattest city for years. We were holding it strong and we're proud of it. It's
but
not
that's what I'm
because
trying
people
to
are
tell
not
you.
liking what they eat.
No, what I'm trying to tell you is if you don't know any better, obviously that is what you enjoy. If
You
you
know what?
don't
I'm
know
going to
any
go
better.
back to what you said. You said 2024, you're over it. All right, so let me talk about my 2024.
Yeah, talk about you.
Because you already done pissed me off.
I see, but
So
listen, okay, can I give one example? If you go hang out with some of your Caucasian friends and they bring out that Frito casserole and they start talking about how delicious it is,
you're talking about no, 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 slow down. Are you talking about Frito pie
I don't know what it is, Fritos and
with
some kind of
chili
baked
cheese?
situation.
With chili
That's
cheese?
gonna be a no. That's gonna be a no. We're not baking Fritos. Is that
It's
a
basic. No, shut your.
absolute no? So
Okay,
my
you're.
point is,
I,
you're telling on yourself. So my point
I
is,
said in
I have
2025,
Caucasian
3, 2, 1,
Caucasian
1,
friends,
2,
right?
3. What
And
the
they will
heck
say,
is
"Oh my God,
bothering me?
you have got
3,
to
2,
try
1,
this." And I
1,
say,
2,
"Ooh."
3. What the heck is bothering me? 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me?
How was your break?
Listen, I am woo-sawing and
We got to go
woo-sawing.
eat together. We have to go
We
eat together.
will, and
We have
and
to eat
you're
together.
not. I'm not going to allow you to be foolish in my presence.
No, here's
Period.
the thing. Do you think if I ate something delicious, I'm not that person. I'm not going to eat something delicious and then say I didn't like it. I will be
My
so
point,
happy to say, "Oh my goodness, I
literally,
have to go back." I'm not that person now. I want to be clear.
I gave you a list of
And when did
places
you
to eat
give me this list, by the way?
a day before you left or 2 days before you left.
The day I left.
I gave you a list. You were reporting back that you didn't go anywhere that I told you to go except borrowing a throwaway plate from a mass catering job. And you're using that as your barometer to tell me that Houston food is not great because you ate at nearby cafes and probably the
Wait,
hotel
let me
food
clear this up because I
where
don't want
you
anybody
went.
to jump on me. I didn't say Houston food is not great. I said I think the taste level for food degenerates the further west you go past Mississippi. I think we just have different taste in food. I'm
No,
saying
I
different taste
guarantee
in
you,
food. I'm not
every
saying it's not
person
good. I'm saying
around the
food is
world,
different.
every person around
I'm
the
saying
world
y'all love
comes to
it, and I
Houston.
believe rightfully so. But I also believe
Every person around the world comes to Houston, and when they eat, they are satisfied.
I didn't say I wasn't
This is
satisfied
not a
again.
matter of people just needing soul food. This is not a matter of people just wanting Cajun adjacent food. I am telling you, go to Houston and your food is seasoned well. It is good. it is quality, and you're not going to ever say the foolishness that you said. Now, get to my story of the last week of 2024 because I'm pissed. I'm
Okay.
pissed. Ask me how my end of the year went.
How did your end of the year go, sir? Why are you so passionate
Jeez.
about this?
Because when I know something, I know it.
And I'm not disputing what you
You
know. I'm
disputed
just
it.
no, no.
Yes.
I didn't
All
dispute it.
right.
I'm just saying if you don't know any
Okay. All
better.
right. So anyway, you asked how my last week of
I've asked you
2024. It
several
was
times.
great.
Yes, I've asked you several
It was
times.
a
It was
great
great.
time.
Yeah.
It was a great time. What did we do? We went to Dallas. Food's cool in Dallas. We went to Houston. Food's amazing in Houston. And of course, I was just like, oh my God, I can't keep eating so much good food. It was great fellowship with family. Me and my wife's, both of our dads live in Dallas. So we got to hang with them. Her dad was celebrating his birthday, belated birthday. And so we got to hang with them. And then we went to Houston. Both of our moms live in Houston.
Oh, how
It's
about
kind of
that?
wild.
Yeah.
And they're friends. The mothers are friends and the dads are friends. It's kind of wild. And we didn't grow up together. So it's just really wild how it
Oh, that's sweet.
serendipitously fits. But
Yeah.
we had a great time, a lot of fun. I then on the 29th of December, the Major Day of Hope, second annual Major Day of Hope, was a huge success. Partnered with an organization called Holidays Helping Hands with my sister, Katina Holiday, and her husband, Chuck Wiseman. It was super cool, and some of my friends joined me, and we blessed downtown LA with a bunch of giveaways, food, motivation, good energy. People came to the tables weeping because they just needed to know that somebody cared. It was so good. Hope amplified. I'll be posting the recap soon, but I'm super grateful for everybody that helped to make it a success, and everybody that showed up to receive that which we had to give. So that's a major day of hope, empowered by my foundation, the Major Hope Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
MajorHopeFoundation.org is where you can find out more information. So check that out. And then I want to ask you, and we can get to me, how did you go into 2025?
Yeah, I was hosting an event at a local establishment, Watering Hole, and we started
Oh, cool.
we rang in the new year every hour starting at 9. So it was like 9, I think was like Rio, and then I think
Oh, wow.
10
That's
was like the
interesting.
Caribbean, 11 was the East Coast for us. We didn't stay up and do the West Coast. We once we got to
Disrespect.
Central Time, we let it go. So we toasted maybe 3 or 4 times. So it was good. I do a monthly event there. So otherwise, I would have been at home in the bed happily,
Do you
happily.
generally do it on that day?
New Year's Eve? No, no, no.
No, I'm
New
talking
Year's Eve?
about like that day of the week.
No. What day was that? Tuesday, Wednesday?
They just wanted you on New Year's Eve.
On New Year's Eve, yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
What better
And
way
he's
to
and
take
you know
in the
what's
new
so
year?
funny? And we might get into this, but he was like, "Hey, I need your schedule for 2025. Like, what are we doing?" And you know what I said to him? I said, "I can't commit to anything here because I plan on not being here. Because what'll happen is you get comfortable. I'm at home and I'm Alabama. It's easy, but Los Angeles, as bad as the food is, they are asking. They need me back. So that's me dropping that on you. It ain't gonna be full time because I don't like y'all like that, but."
Listen,
I just feel
listen.
like what happened is I spent that year in Los Angeles. I came back home to regroup and reset and restore. And let me tell you who told me this. Sounds like I'm going to be name dropping, but Marsha Warfield told me, "Don't go home and get comfortable." She said, "I went home and looked up. It had been 20 years."
Isn't
So
that the
she said,
singer? No, no, no. That's the actress. That was on Night Court, or
yes, comedian, actress Marsha Warfield. Yes, Roz.
yes,
Yes, she
she's
was the baby
brilliant.
on Night Court. And she was like, "I went home, and 20 years later, you wake up one day like, wait, what happened?" And so it would be easy for me to accept a lot of bookings and gigs here in Alabama because it's comfortable and a little bit easier. And I said I'm gonna challenge myself for 2025 to not say yes to easy and comfortable. How about
Ooh,
that?
impressive.
Thank you.
Actually, very impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, now how did you bring in 2024? Now, let me tell you, it's so funny conversations with you, very similar to conversations with my mom. Uh, in that when
I
she and
like
I
your
are
mama,
talking,
so that's what it is.
right. So when she and I are talking, we'll be talking blah blah blah, blah and we tend to start our stories with, okay, now back to me. Uh, so back to you. Go ahead. What? How did you bring in 2025?
We went to. I actually had two gigs. One that kind of divinely came about, but I had a gig to do a wedding in Atlanta or just outside of Atlanta on New Year's Eve. Me and Nichelle flew to Atlanta. It was a great wedding. I sang. I was a surprise to the groom on behalf of the bride. And I always
Okay.
think it's kind of dope when the bride surprises the groom,
Yeah.
but it's because oftentimes it's the reverse.
Right.
Um but it was a great time. We did that, and then I brought in the new year at Bishop Bronner's church in Georgia, Word of Faith, and I love that church every time I go. And we had a really, really good time. Rang in the new year. I sang, I prayed for you. No, I didn't sing, I prayed for you. I prayed for you in my heart.
Okay. What did you
I
say?
sang Heaven Now
Okay.
because he wanted to have me sing during the in memoriam part.
Uh,
And Heaven Now is one of the songs on my EP, The Hope of My Soul. And I'm super grateful whenever I get to sing it because I think it's like the perfect song for those that are grieving or still wrestling with grief, or have just lost a loved one. And it's just like it's a perfect song that kind of sounds like a statement from the one who has transitioned, like, I'm good now, I'm in heaven now,
mm,
like, you don't have to worry about me anymore.
mm.
Yeah. And so that went off beautifully. uh we stayed in Atlanta for 2 more days and had a great time. We went to an illusion museum, the Museum of Illusion, which was really, really cool.
In
um
Atlanta?
in Atlanta. Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the lessons you learn with things like that is there's always another way to see the thing.
Hmm.
That was the takeaway from the Museum of Illusions in Atlanta. There's always another way to see a thing.
Hmm.
Leave room for another perspective. And we've talked about that before. But it was wild because that's the first of the year, and this is the second first of the year in a row that I had a moment of leave room for more than your perspective.
Hmm.
Last year we're at the Four Seasons in San Diego, one of wherever that Four Seasons is. It's like a outskirt of San Diego or something. We're in the jacuzzi and we're just, oh, this is so beautiful. Now, being in a jacuzzi when it's really cold outside hits different. It's like a vibe. It's stuff that a different hue of people usually do,
I
but
was gonna say,
I
I see you
definitely.
dropping all this. Oh, at the Four Seasons and the jacuzzi. I'm letting you finish, but go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
Uh,
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna
so
let you
let me
finish.
get to the point. Let me get to the point. You're right. I am dropping too much. So
Let's just see
I
where you're going with this.
I see two palm trees and I'm excited. I got my phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, isn't that just a beautiful view? And behind it is a night sky. So I'm like taking the picture and I'm taking the picture. And my wife says, why don't you take it from the side? She says, she says, there's three, there's actually three. And I'm like, I'm definitely looking at two. I go to the side and capture a picture, and what was once two is now 3. Now, from my view, 2 is valid.
Mm-hmm.
From her view, 3 is valid. And so it literally arrested my mindset immediately at the top of 2024 to leave room for more than just your perspective. Widen the lens and you'll see more.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when I get to the illusions and I'm seeing all of these different scenarios where it's like, now keep looking, or turn here and you'll see this, or move here, or look upside down and you'll see this. And I'm like, yo, God, I hear you. We about to win. You set me up to
Yeah.
prepare for the big wins ahead. So yeah, that was my
You know,
going
I
into the new
experience that a
year.
lot when like I'm getting ready to go out or do a show and they like see what I have on. It's like, but then if I hold my phone up really high, I'm like, oh, she did it.
She
I haven't
did
changed
that.
that. But the phone is getting the
No,
perspective. The perspective has
no,
got to be.
perspective hits different at different angles, at different vantages. You're actually right. Like
You
it
got to
does
flip
hit
up that
different.
perspective before you snap that selfie, girls. I'm telling you, it's not that you take bad pictures. You just ain't taking it from the right perspective. That's
So
all.
with all of that said, with
I
all of
didn't take
that
the
said,
whole show listening to Major's life. But listen,
listen,
let me add one
no,
thought. I
actually
have a
we
Four Seasons
listened to
thought.
you
I have a Four Seasons
disrespecting
thought.
we actually listened to you disrespecting Houston's
I have a
food.
Four Seasons thought. Okay.
Go ahead.
So I was staying at the Four Seasons in Houston, right? I had never stayed at the Four Seasons before. I didn't pay for it. I was there with my friend. But I had a moment. I had several moments in the Four Seasons. And it confirmed for me that when I say, like, I'm not committing to things that are locally comfortable, that it is about broadening your horizons, your perspective, and your influence. So as I'm getting ready to check out of the Four Seasons, there's an older Caucasian gentleman getting on. He had on a cowboy hat. And it's just he and I. And I had on my hat that I had on the podcast the other day, little, paper boy, page boy hat. And I said to him, great hat. And he said, thanks. I like your hat too. And I said, thank you. And then he said something to me and I didn't know what he said. And I said, I'm sorry, what? And he repeated what he said. And I still was like, I am sorry. What are you saying? What he was saying to me was, he said, London. I said, what? He said, London. I said, what do you, he said, did you get your hat in London? And in that moment, I said, see, that was a rich person conversation. I got it from Amazon. Don't do that. But, for whatever reason, this man thought, okay. And what most of the people I associate with would never have asked me if I had gotten that. They never, it wouldn't have been a thought. They wouldn't have thought that. They wouldn't have
When
asked me.
you
They would have been
lived
curious.
when
And I said, I
you
want to be around more people who would ask me if I got on something, if I got it in London. Yes, I did.
may your 2025 be a 2025 of people assuming the greatness, the greatest possibilities of you.
Because we share in space. We share great
And
space. We
may
share
you
great space.
level up.
Yes.
And may you level up to experience the breadth of all of the possibilities.
All of that.
That part.
And if I had
So
heard him the
with that,
first time, I would have said yes.
did you tell them you got it from
No,
Amazon?
no, I still lied. I didn't lie and say I got it from London. I said, oh, you know what? I'm not even sure it was a gift. And that is
To
how I look at
yourself, and
Amazon.
you
I do
were
look at
sure.
Amazon gifts me packages all the time. They just show up at my house.
So I'm at the wedding and I have these boots and I'm doing this now. Now, just to be clear, and I don't even need to clarify, but to be clear, all of my purchases are not from here. But I will say I shared the same scenario. I'm at the wedding and the promoter that booked me was like, "Whoa, them boots are killing." And I said, "Thank you, man." He says, "Where did you get them?" I looked down again and I said, "Dude, I kid you not. I got these from Amazon." He said, "What?" And I said, "I promise you." But what's wild is I have boots from all over and I be paying some money and I've been gifted some really cool things, but Amazon comes through so clutch. Like, I had these very boots that I was wearing. I had the make of these already that I got downtown in LA. I messed them up. I scuffed them up so bad. I'm like, I just need some new boots real quick. And I said, I wonder if Amazon has boots, which come to find out, Amazon has almost everything. And
Come to find
sure,
out.
sure enough, they actually had the. Can you just go with me? And they actually had the same exact boots that I purchased downtown. So someone was either selling them higher price from Amazon downtown,
Right. Pretty much.
but I found the boots, and so I have them, and they are actually my most complimented boots, more so than the ones that I spent hundreds of dollars on.
And even when you say, "Oh, I have things that are not from here," okay, me too. They are from China. Oh, you were like, you thought you had leveled up on me with it. Oh, I have things not from here. Also, and made in China.
I'll just say, listen, this can be something helpful for those that are going into the new year. You don't have to spend beyond the unnecessary means. You don't have to spend big dollars, even if you do have it. Just if you can find it for
Listen,
less,
if you have a
great.
dope aura, I promise you, I do as little as possible 98% of the time because my aura is dope. And I realize that if I like drank water,
People
exercise, had a
abundance.
flat stomach, and wore more appealing clothes, it'd be too much. You guys couldn't even stand it. So this is for you. This is for y'all. I just show up and say, I'm just gonna have this dope energy, and I'm gonna let everything else work itself out. Okay. It'd be
Listen,
too much.
y'all.
Do we have
I
a topic for today? Because I feel like we're just catching up from last year.
We are, and that's okay.
Getting
That's
half this
okay.
podcast out for it to even get
But
loaded.
we've had some gems that were dropped, in um in our recap, and now let's get into
No,
the
we said
theme.
no. Back to you. Back to me. Back to you. No. So sometimes I feel like we can have a plan, right? And then sometimes where we end up is where we're supposed to be. So that's kind of as the producer.
We can have a plan, but where we end up is where we land. I will say, producer, we can get to.
No, I'm going to say what we're going to get to. So today we're going to keep talking about what I was talking about. Back to me, because this is here's the thing about you and I. We have these great conversations, and a lot of times we haven't pressed record yet. And before we press record today, I was telling you something about me personally. You say, "Oh wait, save this," right? And so I'm going to offer that now because I think that's going to take us where we're supposed to be today, and then we'll get to where we thought we were going to be next week.
Absolutely, but can you ask
Sidebar,
me about my
sidebar.
hat first?
Back to him. Okay, now.
Can
Great
you
hat.
ask
Is
me
that a new
about my hat? Oh
design?
yeah. Oh man. Oh my gosh. This one.
I
It's
did
just a
notice it.
prototype.
I did
Listen,
notice it
it's
because
a
at first I thought it said joy, and I said, "But wait, there's some extra." I could just see it's a Y, and because you have your nose so high up in the air, talking about you have boots from different places. I couldn't really see it, and now that now that I can see, tell me more about it.
I'll just say
Tell me more. It's a prototype. You were saying
it's a prototype. My new song, I Prayed for You, is impacting radio pretty strong. Shout
nice.
out to my team and Uncle G. I Prayed for You is a new hope anthem that I think is timely and necessary, especially as we take on this new year
Yeah,
with the political landscape being what it is. I just recently saw a video of a new congresswoman being sworn in with uh, Kamala Harris, and her husband, who held the actual Bible, wouldn't even show enough decency to shake Kamala's hand after she reached out her hand to
right.
shake his. It was completely repulsive
It was
and
repulsive and a
very
throwback
disheartening.
to things that we would see in black and white. And I realized I saw that video too is today, and I realized that after the fact, I told you earlier today, I was so excited about today. It's a circle back day. Let's get this year going. And I couldn't get it together energetically. And I didn't realize until later, I think part of it was because of what was happening in DC, and that Kamala on January 6th certified her loss to Donald Trump.
Yeah, it
And
hits
I didn't
different.
even realize, and I didn't watch it. And I said, "Ugh." I think that's probably energetically was bothering me.
In a climate like this, prayer is needed more than ever, because what prayer does is it commits you to the frequency of depending on a power greater than yours, relinquishing your need for it to look the way that you think in your own strength it should, or in your own ability it should, and making yourself available for the answers to the very prayers that you have and the hopes that you have to unfold however divinely they may. And so this is a prototype hat. I don't know if I want to make many more. It's a part of the Major Hope Collective. That's the symbol of the Major Hope. And I was like, let me try something, because I needed to keep the dove in there, when I have joy and hope and
Mm-hmm.
love, it can have that. But I was like, let me do something. It kind of looks cool to me, but
Yes.
you never know. I don't know. I may just have it a lot of times because I didn't sell the joy or the love hats. Everybody's like, can I get those? And I'm like, nope. These are just for me. So
He likes to
I don't know.
tease us and then tell us we can't have them. That's a great
But
spirit.
listen, I
Good.
think it. Thank you for bringing up my hat.
Oh yes.
I wasn't expecting that. So yeah, I prayed for you is available everywhere. The hat is not available everywhere, but go check it out. Check out the music video. Let it be your soundtrack as you get ready for life, into anything that you plan to conquer and take on. Let that be what you play. All right. Um, and so yeah, get into you sharing
Yes,
what you
I was going to
shared
share
with me
because this is the first
pre-podcast.
episode, yeah, of 2025. I've been hyped up, excited for everybody to get back to work. Today was my circle back day where I'm sending texts and emails and following up on conversations that we had prior to the holidays. I'm ready for everybody, let's do this. And
Mhm.
nobody completed the circle with me today, and I was feeling very. I didn't like
Wait,
it.
so say it again. So explain it again for the person that may not have caught on how, based on how fast you were saying it. You said,
Today was National Circle Back Day. I participate. Okay. Circle back day is the day that we go back to work after the holidays, from
yes,
Christmas Eve or Christmas Eve to today. Ain't nobody really been doing nothing for real. Okay.
right.
So today is the day that, hey, it's the top of the year. Chop, chop. We gotta look alive, get our lives together. Right. And so I said, I'm going to just participate fully in Circle Back Day. And I mean, by 10:30 a.m., I had circled back with everybody that I had been thinking about for weeks. And none of them people, like, all you gotta do is do this to complete the circle with me, right? That's just reply, acknowledge, respond. Nobody completed the circle. And I was feeling, was feeling, is feeling a certain. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm not somebody who enjoys waiting on communication. It's not my strong suit. Really don't have that kind of patience. Okay. Now, I was having a moment today and I shared with you, I heard something clear as day. And it basically was to the effect that people aren't doing what I want them to do, which is what they said, what I expected, what they could, what they should. They're not doing that. They don't care about celebrating this day with me. Okay. But also, the question I have to ask of myself is, have I done everything I can, I should, I would? By that, I mean, this is my feature film script that I'm in.
Woo! Come on.
This is my movie I wrote, and I am in 100% rewrites. In theory, allegedly. I could have been working on that. We always have these new fitness goals. I mean, there's a lot of things I could have been doing instead of sitting here feeling like nobody is participating in this holiday with me. You did all
Yeah,
the other holidays, but this one now, all of a sudden, you don't want to observe. Okay. And
right.
so I realized that between my lack of patience and my sincere need and desire for control, that I just need to focus on the things that I can control, which is writing, which is walking, which is drinking water. Those are the things I can control. So those are the things that I need to put my energy into. And lo and behold, if any of these sapsuckers ever get back to me,
Hmm.
they will be lucky if I respond. The noise, the unmitigated gall of these
I
people.
think it's very much. Do you know the Serenity Prayer?
No. Yes.
The prayer of
Is it
serenity.
I can control the things? Pray that I can say it for me. I know what you're talking about. The da 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 control, the da 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 can change. Da, 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 right. So no, I don't know it.
Um,
Oh, is that familiar? Why don't you share it with us? I'm not gonna have this from you today.
the
We're not gonna
Serenity
start
Prayer
2025.
is God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change,
Mm-hmm.
the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to
To
know
know
the
the difference.
difference.
Ashe, amen. I receive it.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. May that be the mantra of
Mm-hmm.
2025. Because I think oftentimes we spend a lot of energy trying to force a thing to be a thing, when sometimes the very thing we're trying to force to be something different is what we need to be what it is in order to see what we want or what we need. And I am one day at a time choosing to lean into accepting what God allows. So long as I show up well, so long as I plant the seed as I've been assigned, sure enough, what comes from that is what was meant to be. What is for me won't miss me. Keep living, keep showing up well. That is the plan. I'm going to try my best to hold on to that discipline.
Every day. It
Um,
would be a choice every day. Uh,
Before we go, because I think what you share was really, really good. Like, I actually salute you for being proactive in circling back, because a lot of people have not decided that this was the day of circling back.
Obviously.
Right. You will complete your new project, your film project, and
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Remember, pace is grace. But one of the things that I think helps to establish a healthy hope mindset, and of course, this being the podcast, The Hope in Between, where we give people the jewels and the gems and the ear, the listening ear, for them to take life um, as optimistically as they possibly can. What in 2024 were you grateful for? Does
Oh,
anything come to mind?
all of it. I was grateful that I was able to be a resource to my mother when she needed me most.
Come on.
I was grateful to have a home to return to physically.
Yes.
I was grateful to have been able to see the first buds of seeds that had been planted.
Yes.
And honestly, I experienced a lot of loss the last few weeks of
Hmm.
2024. So honestly, grateful to make it out, but
Yeah.
also grateful to know, I don't know. I saw 2024 as a year of restoration for me. I've been redoing my home, and it was also the same thing for me emotionally and mentally. So I think because that's what 2024 was for me, I hit 2025 with, all right, let's go. I've had time to chill and reset my
and
nervous system. I'm ready. I'm ready. I gave y'all 8 months off from me.
and also throw in there that my girl was on tour,
Yes.
living out a huge chunk of your dream in real time.
Yes.
and happening upon things that you didn't expect, from selling out books and
Yeah. Oh, you know
all of
what?
that
Oh,
good stuff.
yeah. I see you wrote it over here in the chat. Oh, I am grateful for the Hope in Between podcast with Major.
I did not. So y'all know I did not write that at all. But I will say this. It's wild. It's wild because that is one of the things that I was grateful for. My 2024 gratitude, marital growth. Um Nichelle's job, my wife's new career, spiritual growth and partnership, um, perpetual career gains. Ah, I had a whole promo tour. I experienced performing at the Kennedy Center.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was super grateful for this hilarious podcast, hilarious and helpful podcast. Um, I had, impact of my song Joy in the Battle, and I Prayed for You, and the EP, The Hope of My Soul. I got Stellar and Dove nominations. I'm grateful for my team support with the team that helps to move my career forward. Um, the persistence of Major Hope, um, keeping of my family and friends. My new friend, Eunice Elliott, was one of them. So my 2024 gratitude was exactly that. It was a beautiful time to be thankful. A lot of great wins. But I will say, and I even posted this on my recap video on IG. Listen, in the midst of all of that stuff I was highlighting, there was depression. There was anxiety. There was shame. There was frustration. There was stress. There was worry. There was confusion. There was doubt. There was fear. But in the midst of it all, I still held on to my hope.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with that, I want to challenge you to share some of the things, and we're going to look back at this, that you're hopeful for in 2025.
I'll do you one better. I have a Eunice's bingo card for 2025. I made a bingo
Come
card.
on. I like that.
Uh-huh.
Let's go. Let me hear it.
I can't tell you all of them.
Yeah, you don't have to.
One of them is take a real vacation.
Woo, okay.
I tend to travel for purpose and work. I'm not good with leisurely travel. I would like to do that this year.
Yeah.
Pay off all my credit cards.
Let's go.
We're doing that. That's on the bingo card.
Yes.
That will be crossed off. Oh, it's one on here. I don't know. Can you see what that says?
No, I cannot.
It's 3 words. It says fall in love. That's what I wasn't going to share.
I prayed for you.
That was
That's
one
what
I
I'm
wasn't going
talking
to
about.
share. That was one I wasn't going to share.
Come on.
Sell a script, show idea, get a job in a writer's room, secure a literary agent. Oh, book the Tonight Show. Because why won't I submit? I will. I am. Just so that read a book every month.
Wow.
And guess what? I left blank spaces for new ideas of what I will do. Also, Ann, I created my own 2025 affirmation. Love. I don't know who you playing with over here. I hear you.
You're on it. You're on it. And I love it.
I created this for myself today, and it says, I am powerful, loved, and abundant. I create a life full of love, laughter, and adventure. I am financially secure, emotionally supported, and healthy. I trust in my creative gifts and embrace every opportunity with confidence. I am worthy of all the success, joy, and peace I am creating.
And you are. That's your 2025 hopes, and they will all be fulfilled.
They will.
Mine are.
Wait, would you let me ask you? Can I ask you yours?
Oh, sure.
Oh, what about yours?
Oh, yeah. So my 2025.
Like a bad date. He's gonna go back and tell everybody she didn't ask me anything about myself.
It's such a raggedy date.
Such a bad date.
2025 hopes. strong stewardship, spiritual stewardship, financial stewardship, marital stewardship, health stewardship, and generosity. I want to strengthen my stewardship in all those spaces, including my generosity, because I refuse to go into this new year as the guy who overgives beyond, honestly, what I should.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for people to accept that as a possibility, but there's a way you can overgive.
Yeah, for sure.
Just as much as you can overfeed something, that's how you have to see your generosity. Sometimes we're just and it comes from many reasons. It could be a traumatic response. It could be just something has
That
caused you to
people
believe.
pleasing, and I don't want them to be disappointed in me. And so even though I can't do this comfortably, I will do it in hopes that they will be pleased, regardless of how
Yeah,
I feel.
I know for me it is I don't ever want to see a need unmet. And I think if I see the need, that I'm responsible for the answer,
Mm.
which then puts me in the seat of God, which is
Mm.
not my duty.
Mm-hmm.
I
Good.
am not
Amen.
savior. I am vessel.
Mm.
Okay. I hope to, you know, have a baby. I want
Do
us to have a
you?
child. I do. I do. I do. So pray into that, hope
That's
into that.
huge.
Come on. I wanted you trying to be an auntie. um, and then a promo tour.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to do another promo tour, especially for this new song, I Prayed for You. I'm loving how it's impacting beyond just gospel, but also soul and Americana. So that's what I'm hoping.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want more A-list collaborations or high-level collaborations. I want a new booking agent.
Okay.
Um, I am hopeful for the Major Hope impact and experience. The theme of Major Hope in my life, from the foundation to everything, I want it just to expand and impact from the foundation to a tour to a podcast. Um, uh, More success and career wins.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's so much more, but I heard don't fully give all of your plans. Don't speak them all out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Save some for yourself. So yeah, I'll just stop there. But I'm expecting and anticipating the best year ever and yet. Yeah. Yeah.
Two things. Two things. I love that. Yes, I'm very excited about anybody else having a baby besides me. So I'm always into it for others.
Yeah.
That's very exciting. I will also be working towards that goal for you. Energy prayer. That's it. I mean,
Let's go. Yeah.
um, two things. So I heard something over the break that really stuck with me and changed my perspective. And it's basically, we're talking about our plans, our goals, our hopes, our prayers for this new year. And a lot of that involves planning for tomorrow. And I heard this perspective that you will never live to see tomorrow, because you can get close to tomorrow. It'll be 11:55 p.m., but the minute the clock strikes midnight is today.
Hmm.
So tomorrow is not a place you will actually ever see. All you have is now, right? And so a lot of times we're planning for the next planning. That's it's not it's scientifically impossible for you to get to tomorrow, because it's today now. Or it was yesterday's tomorrow, but it's
My
today.
thing is, you can plan for tomorrow, but live for today.
Live for today.
Live
Um,
for today.
and so the thing is, you mentioned the tour I was on last year. I'm still on tour, just on this break.
Yes.
And I want you to know we kick back off in another week or two. And on January 18th, I will be at the Wiltern in Los Angeles, California. I would love to invite you and your bride to the show. That's all. Just drop that on you.
I'm not gonna be in
You're not going
town.
to be there?
No.
That's fine. As
I
long as
will.
you
I
have it.
no. But you're on tour, so I'm going to one of those. We're going to be in Springfield, Massachusetts for the King Day um uh brunch.
Okay.
Lunch. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure anybody that will be at this show will not know who King is. So anyway,
They
moving
will know who Dr. King is.
on. Uh,
No,
but yeah,
listen.
I
I'm
will be in
I'm
a city near you one day. The tour goes through
Yeah.
May.
So
So
where would they find more information about the tour?
you can go to my Instagram, Eunice Elliott. The link is in the bio. Tour dates.
EuniceElliott.com.
EuniceElliott.com or at Eunice Elliott on Instagram. And tell you what, if you have heard me mention this tour on the Hope in Between, if you send me an inbox, do not buy tickets. You are on my guest list. How about that? Any city, any show.
Ooh.
If you heard me talk about this,
Oh, that's
on the Hope
dope.
in
That's
Between,
dope.
inbox me and say, hey, I went to the website. I saw you're going to be in my city and you got 2 tickets to that show. How about that?
Yo, that is dope, Eunice.
I can do that. That's
That
right.
is
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
dope.
I want to thank people for listening. I want to know that they're listening. And I want to reward you with a great show. And then stay
Well,
after the show. Make sure you say hi, take pictures.
I'll say anybody that watched this show, tag me and I'll say a prayer for you.
Anybody who watched this show, you need more friends because you just saw 2 people catching up. What you been doing? What you been doing?
Nah, anybody. Well, listen, we are your friends. You are our friends. We are so grateful for this time. Beautiful people. This is the first episode of the Hope in Between in the year 2025. Who would have thunk it? We are now in the Jetson era, and we are seeing the abundance of evolution happening right before our very eyes. We are actually on a technological platform that many years ago in the late 1900s was not an option, but we are here now. So, beautiful people, I said all that to say, if you have the vision, write it down, get to work on building it, because soon enough, everyone who may have doubted will see that it was meant to be. This is the Hope in Between. It's 2025. Let's live it to the fullest without apology. My name is Major. It's my girl, Eunice Elliott. Until next time, be well.